Hey everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review for you guys. And we're looking at the Sig Sauer ASP P250 CO2 Blowback .177 caliber pellet pistol. Mouthful for sure. Again, this is the tabletop review video. Now I have included some shooting in this video simply because I don't have a working chronograph just yet. And I'm not sure when I'm going to have a chronograph, so I'm not sure when the field test shooting video is going to happen. So for now, I just went outside, fired some rounds off at the target from 30 feet back using my typical semi-rested position. I just wanted to see how this gun shot, performed, how the trigger felt, how the blowback felt, so I could report back to you guys on that. Again, I want to thank Sig Sauer for providing this gun for review. So let's get right on to the specifications. This is a metal and plastic built gun, so you're looking at a metal slide polymer frame or plastic frame. It weighs in at about 1.5 pounds or 658 grams. It shoots .177 caliber pellets. It could be either lead or alloy. It has a 16 round double-sided rotary stick magazine, so 8 rounds on each side. You're going to have to flip it over halfway through. It shoots in semi-auto and has blowback operation. It also has a single and double action trigger and uses 12 gram CO2 cartridges. This gun has a 4.75 inch rifled steel barrel with white dot sights and a working safety / decocker. Now Sig claims 500 FPS on their website, but their real-world FPS testing using 5.25 grain alloy pellets is closer to 400 FPS using an 8-shot string. This gun is fully Sig licensed and life tested for 15,000 shots, so you're going to get your money's worth. Now this gun is designed by Sig Sauer and made in Japan, and if you haven't noticed, it's a pretty accurate copy of the real steel Sig Sauer P250 pistol. Now mine came in a generic cardboard box with a manual, but if you want to check that out, check out my unboxing preview video where I show you the box and the manual. Not that it's that exciting, I just want to get to the gun, so let's leave that out in this video. Now before I show you around the gun, I do want to compare this P250 to a couple other pistols. Primarily, we're going to show you the P226, and I do have a review for that, or they'll be coming out about the same time, so you should be able to check the review out for this one as well. Both pellet pistols, both blowback, both use the same magazines, both made or designed by Sig. Pretty much the same type of gun. This P226 does have a metal frame. It is a heavier gun in general, right? But they both perform similarly, shoot similarly, have similar features. Now people have asked, about guns like the Gamos or this Umarex PX4 Storm because they have a similar type of magazine. Do they use the same mags? Well, the magazines are similar, but they're not exactly the same. For instance, this PX4 Storm magazine is a little bit too long. It doesn't quite fit in the P250 or the P226. It will get kind of jammed up in there, so don't even try it. All right, let's take a look at this pistol. Let's do a walk around. All right, we have our Sig Sauer P250 right in the slide, right? It's not just printed on. We also have our caliber there. We've got our Picatinny rail. Now this would be, I believe, a decocking, or sorry, not a decocking, a takedown lever, right? So that's, that's not going to work on here because you can't really take this gun down. Now we do have a safety / decocker, okay? So you can see here, it's a safety. When it's in safe, it's not going to fire. When it's off safe, I'm just going to pull the mag because there's CO2 in here. This gun really kicks. It really does have some snap, and the decocker just pops it down there. This gun has almost more snap to it than the P226, maybe because it's just lighter in general and you feel it more, but it does feel like more blowback action, I'd have to say. Okay, so let's take some more close-up looks at this gun. Now the ejection port is not cut out. You do have white dot sights in the front and the back. Again, you have this, right, hammer. Shoots in single or double action, right? Double action. Single action would be back here, and if I pull the trigger, right? And then you have your Sig licensing, right? Okay. Now I can pop this off to show you the CO2, but there is CO2 in it here, right? We have our metal tab, which is nice. CO2 is in this gun, and we have this cover right here. Okay, just pops on and off. Okay. Other side, this would be your slide catch release. Some warning instructions, made in Japan. Serial number, more Sig licensing, Picatinny rail. There's our trigger, right? More Sig licensing. and slightly recessed barrel, but barely. Okay. Alright, at this point I'm going to take you outside. I did do a little bit of shooting. I wore my camera glasses, so it's not like I did a multi-camera or anything like that, but I did want to just share really quickly the shooting performance. Once you've seen that video, we'll talk about the gun a little bit and go over how I felt about the shooting performance. Alright, 30 feet back, got my Sig Sauer P250 pellet pistol. Don't mind the weird tanned hands from my fitness contest. Just the way it is, they're going to take a little bit to fade here. Alright, so we've got basically 16 rounds. So we missed one. Got to put that round back in there. I'm using Sig Sauer alloy pellets, if you can see them here. These are, I believe, about 5.25 grain. So they're about the weight of a steel BB, actually. Probably some sort of alloy, not really a lead. They're lightweight. We're gonna put all 16 rounds down range, take it off safe, and let's get to it. All right, so we're gonna flip the mag part way through, obviously, since it's double-sided. Went a little high. Okay, flip it around. Something happened with that first round for sure. That might have been me. Gun might have got away on me a little bit there, because the other ones seem to be dropping in nicely. That's it. Okay. Take a quick look. Decock it. When you put it on safe, it decocks the hammer. Yeah, that was just me. That was the very, very first shot. But look at that. That's well underneath a 2-inch group. Pretty well centered, just a tiny bit high, but I'm okay with that. You can always drop your aim point just a little hair there. I was basically aiming like this with my sights. So not too bad at all. Don't worry about the screaming kids. It's summertime. And I told them to be in a safe place, but you can still hear them. All right, gonna head in and finish this review up. All right, so overall, this gun shoots pretty nice. As I said, it's got a pretty crisp blowback operation. So much, in fact, that the first shot out of the gun seemed to come out with quite a bit of extra snap, just maybe because the CO2, the whole gun in general has warmed up, so you get a little bit of a snap, and the gun tended to rise a little bit, and that first shot tended to be high. Other than that, the follow-up shots all landed pretty tight, well within 2 inches, maybe closer to 1.5 inches, so perhaps a little bit more accurate than the P226. The trigger feels really good, similar to the P226, but I'd have to say the indexing of the rotary magazine was slightly more noticeable, and I don't know why, and the release of the trigger felt slightly heavier to me. I don't know if it was mental or what, but that's how I felt about this gun. I felt like the P226 trigger was a little smoother in general. That said, the P250, not a bad trigger, still pretty good indexing and still a decent release, and again, maybe better accuracy as well. Now, if you're shooting a 16 round string, you're going to notice the first and last shots, there's a difference in velocity. They do slow down as the gun cools down from the CO2. So you're going to want to reload this gun, maybe give it a little bit of rest time between shooting magazines. All right, let's talk about some of the pros and the cons. Overall, it's a nice replica of the real steel Sig Sauer P250. Of course, not identical, especially mechanically, but in looks, it looks a lot like the P250, so we've got to give it that. It is, again, designed by Sig and made in Japan, and it's fully Sig Sauer licensed. It has that nice heavy blowback operation, which you really feel because the gun is fairly light, so you're going to feel it more than the P226. Now, it might feel a bit lightweight at first, but out of the two Sig Sauer ASP pellet pistols, I'd have to say this one seems to shoot a little bit better. Now, it did get respectable accuracy and seemed to shoot pretty hard, especially at the beginning of the magazine. And the safety works as a decocker, same as the real Sig Sauer P250. It's also nice that it has white dot sights with an accessory rail for your add-ons like tactical lights, lasers, things like that. And overall, the trigger feels pretty good. It's smooth and has a decent release. All right, a couple cons. Now, much like the P226, it does tend to slow down a bit near the end of the 16-shot string. So again, take your time reloading up the magazine, give the gun some rest time, let it warm up a bit. And again, like the P226, the sights are non-adjustable, so it's a good thing this gun, for me at least, seemed to shoot a little bit more accurate, seemed to be pretty much right on target for me, so I didn't need to make any adjustments at all. And again, that ejection port is not cut out, so that's a little bit of a giveaway. Takes away a little bit from the realism. Alright, thanks for watching another Replica Airguns tabletop video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Also come on down to ReplicaAirguns.com where I have articles, posts, and reviews for you with additional photos. So check out the link in the description. I'll have a link to my written article for this gun with some additional high-quality photos I've taken for you guys. While you're at ReplicaAirguns.com, check out our Canada and US online Replica Airgun stores where we sell air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.